Hi guys, how you doing? Funny thing just happened. I recorded this video. It took me about 20 minutes, and then I cancel at the end, and now I've got to do it again. So that's okay. That's okay. It's my fault. So anyway, a little story about my first recollection of doing marketing. I don't think I knew I was doing it at the time, but I wanted to recount a little story about that. So my boss came to me. I was a hotel receptionist, probably only my first job, first full time job, and he came to me with a customer's name and telephone number. Obviously, it was a home phone number because they didn't have mobile phones back in those days. Um, he wanted their address. So he wanted their address to send him a Christmas card or something. I can't remember why, but he wanted perhaps a letter. I don't know. And I remember being a bit struck that actually you could just go in the phone book and find out where someone lives from that information, from just their name and number. Um, so what I did, I then took it upon myself to go through the whole restaurant diary for the whole year because I was a good boy back then, and I liked to do good things for my boss. And so I got the restaurant diary out, went right back to January the 1st, and looked up, say, Mr. Brown. So you've got their phone number and you've got their telephone number. And you looked up in there, right, Mr. Brown, and then you're looking down at all the Browns and looking to find the matching telephone number. When you found the matching telephone number, you then write down their address. So I did that. It took me a week or so, and I wrote down and made a database. Basically, I was really excited. I thought I was very clever. Well, it was very clever. So I took that back to my boss, and he was very impressed that I created a restaurant database for him. Now that was all pre GDPR, and that was from what's called the phone book. Now I'm sure most of you know what the phone book is, but for those that don't, every town had a phone book. Say it was Oxford, the Oxfordshire phone book, and everyone was listed from A to Z um, with their name if you wanted to be in there. If not, you could opt out, but most people didn't. And it had your address in there as well. And then there was the yellow pages as well. But that was a similar thing for businesses. So yeah, that was all. It was all pre GDPR. You could just start at A and work through to Z and phone everybody and sell them double glazing, which is generally what it was used for. Um, of course, if you wanted to call someone you knew, you could look them up and phone them because you didn't have a mobile phone to store the numbers in. Everyone just had the phone book, the good old phone book. So I made my database. Boss very happy, and he could then market to customers, send them a little special offer, that sort of thing. So little did I know, I just created a great database for the boss, and he was very pleased with me. And within a week or two, I got promoted. So I was junior receptionist. I think I was earning about £7,000 a year at the time, and I got promoted, like a double promotion, up to assistant manager of the hotel. This was in Northamptonshire. So I was very pleased, and it got me on the road to my hotel management career, if you like. Just because I kind of spotted that identity, and it really helped me along my way. I didn't then really have much interest in marketing. I was then doing weddings and events and banqueting as part of my career, but did always dabble in it. I remember when mail merge came along, and that was a very exciting thing that you could print out from your computer labels, sticky labels with all the addresses on, you could just stick onto their envelopes to send them in the post. Because we don't do that anymore, but yeah, maybe we should go back to some of the old ways of marketing, sending letters, Christmas cards, and snail mail. It can work. So yes, that was the height of marketing back there, using mail merge. So then the mobile phone came along. They didn't make a directory for mobile phones. And then obviously smartphones developed, and we got things like Facebook and all these other apps came along as well. By then, by the time Facebook came along, I was actually managing probably my second hotel down in Buckinghamshire, and I was one of the first hotels or managers of hotels to actually use Facebook as a tool to target my customers. And when it first came along, there wasn't such thing as business pages and people pages. There were just pages, yeah. And later on, Facebook realised they could monetize the business side of things. Obviously, they want you to advertise, and they created business pages which had different usage. You could do different things with Facebook pages. So yeah, I used to do right back then. It's about 12 years ago, perhaps. I was doing Facebook competitions. I was speaking directly to my audience through the posts I did, posting pictures of the hotel and that sort of thing. So yeah, and since then I've learned quite a lot about Facebook. But it's important, as one of my messages here, it's important not to rely on one thing. It's important not to rely on one platform. Imagine that you were, a couple of years ago, if you were a Spanish holiday hotel, say you were a 4-star Spanish holiday hotel, and all your trade was British holiday makers that booked through Thomas Cook. And then one day, Thomas Cook went bust. Now, they lost everything. So not only did Thomas Cook go bust, but the hotels went bust as well. They weren't even owned by Thomas Cook. So they put all their eggs in one basket. They were relying totally on Thomas Cook to do all their marketing. Well, they didn't have any marketing to do. The customers would just arrive, and they would look after them. So we have to think about how we do things and how we get our customers from lots of different sources. So back in the day when we'd use the phone book to find some data, we'd also be advertising in the Yellow Pages, in brochures. We'd be on things like Super Breaks. Those remember those Super Breaks? They went bust 2 years ago. Was it last year? We'd do local adverts and newspapers. Loads of times you'd feature in the back of the newspaper and do an advert there. So it was about spreading your marketing message and not relying upon one source. And now think these days how much easier it is to reach our customers and connect directly with them. Everyone's online and everyone's got a phone. So it is so much simpler. You don't even have to buy a stamp. You don't have to have anything really to create a Facebook page or create a social media account and start connecting with your clients. So it's important these days to spread a little bit. You need to align your platform with where your customers are. That's important, but don't put all your eggs in one basket. And that goes for your revenue streams and the way you're doing your marketing. So, for example, if you were a restaurant or a hotel near a theatre and all of your bookings are reliant upon those theatres for the pre-theatre meals, what happens if the theatre goes out of business? Have you got anything else to rely on? What happens if you're relying on coach travel and the coach tour business to fill your restaurant? Obviously now the coaches aren't traveling as well. So everyone's got to think broader, wider, spreading that marketing message. Maybe we should be going back to the old phone book again if they still had it. So hedge your bets and spread that marketing message. That's really what this is about today. So I'm going to sign off. I'd like you to put some comments below, any anecdotes that you have about how you used to find customers and what methods you use, what you use now, what you used to use perhaps. But remember, the best way, obviously, still of finding customers is to give them great service and great food so that you get word of mouth. That's always going to be the best way. So bye for now. But like I say, drop a comment below. I'd like to hear your ideas and how you reach out to your clients. All right, take care. And I'm going to try not to delete the video this time. Bye.